And let The Rock tell you something, you walking clown emoji, piece of you shut your mouth.
Unscripted WWE Moments in 2024, CM Punk at Survivor Series War Games. As CM Punk has always been known to go off script in the aid of enhancing a segment or match, and in the 2024 Survivor Series War Games match, there was no exception. As Punk made his entrance, he proceeded to the new Bloodlines cage and slapped Bronson Reed across the face. This was said to be completely unscripted, and this was a moment that set the tone for the rest of the match, and the reactions from the new Bloodline, specifically Reed and Jacob Fatu, made the moment even better. Carlito on Raw in October. One of the more controversial moments of 2024 came during a backstage segment featuring Carlito. In the segment, Carlito would state, "I gotta learn Chinese," when referring to Io Sky and Kairi Sane. This line received instant backlash online, and a portion of the fans were calling Carlito racist. It was then reported that Carlito ad-libbed the line, and the line wasn't in the initial script. The WWE made the call to edit the line out at subsequent replays of their flagship show, The Rock on the WrestleMania 40 kickoff. The WrestleMania 40 kickoff show had the world talking, and it featured outstanding performances from the likes of Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and The Rock. When it comes to The Rock, it was said that his backstage segment with Triple H was totally improvised and wasn't even scripted. The segment saw The Rock confront the gamer, warning him about the actions of Rhodes and Rollins, and it was a first step in the final boss character being born. Speaking on Gabby Aff, Jackie Redmond, who was involved in the segment, discussed how she was reacting in real time to The Rock going off script. "I had no idea that The Rock was going to interrupt said interview. That I legitimately did not know. I was literally just interviewing Hunter. Obviously things happen at the end of the press that I had to ask Hunter about. And I knew I was doing all of that, but I had no idea what would happen, and I literally, if you watch the clip, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Jackie sold that so good. I didn't sell shit, I didn't sell nothing. That's me reacting in real time to The Rock dropping F-bombs on our show, and me being like, what's going on right now?" And despite not being prepared in advance, Redmond handled the unscripted segment perfectly, and once again showed why she's a fantastic asset to WWE. Cody Rhodes at the 2024 Royal Rumble. The booking of the 2024 Men's Rumble was a complete mess, in the sense that WWE was starting to hear that The Rock would be available for WrestleMania 40, and if this was indeed the case, then The Rock vs Roman Reigns would be the plan for the biggest show of the year. Although Triple H knew that this would likely be the match for WrestleMania 40, he proceeded to move forward with a Cody Rhodes Rumble win. Rhodes was informed directly that The Rock vs Reigns was the creative direction, but following his win, he decided to go off script and point directly at Reigns, signaling that he was coming for Reigns at WrestleMania 40. A fan speculated why exactly Rhodes would do this, yet from a logical point of view, Rhodes failing to point at Reigns would have made a lack of sense. Reigns in his title reign was firmly associated with Rhodes' story, and for him to do anything other than point at Reigns would have led to more questions than answers. In the long run, this didn't matter, as Reigns vs Rhodes Part 2 was eventually added to the WrestleMania card, and Rhodes without a doubt made the right call by going off script in the manner he did. Ricochet on Raw in April. The Raw after Mania is usually a special Raw, and it's traditionally the hottest crowd of the calendar year. WWE goes out to give the fans a show to remember. On the Raw following WrestleMania 40, WWE booked a fatal four-way match between Bronson Reed, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, and Jey Uso, and during the match, Ricochet decided to deliver a 450 splash on Reed through the announce table. The spot looked incredible, and amazingly, before Ricochet took to the sky, he apologized to his fiancée Samantha Irvin. It was later reported that this was an audible from Ricochet and it wasn't planned, and Ricochet decided to go off script. Wrestlers lower down the card going off script is extremely rare in WWE, however it was reported that Ricochet's improvisation was well received backstage. If this occurred during the old era of WWE and Vince McMahon was still in charge, then it's likely that Ricochet would have been reprimanded in some capacity. CM Punk on Raw in March. Now, the undisputed rivalry of 2024 was between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Both men brought a sense of realism and intensity that hadn't been seen in a WWE program for a long time, and it's hardly a surprise that fans call it the feud of the Triple H era. One of the most iconic segments of their rivalry took place on Raw during the road to WrestleMania 40, and in the segment, McIntyre was talking about his time as the Chosen One, and Punk responded in a clearly unscripted remark by saying, "Tell everyone who chose you, say his name if you have the balls." Both men were referencing Vince McMahon, and mentioning McMahon is a taboo topic for obvious reasons, so it definitely pushed the promo into dangerous territory. This was one of the first times that the former WWE chairman had been indirectly mentioned on TV since he was virtually blacklisted from the pro wrestling industry. It was never reported that Punk received any complaints backstage for referencing McMahon, and to Punk's credit, it was a fantastic rebuttal to McIntyre's comments and wasn't exactly random or off-topic. Cody Rhodes on SmackDown in February. One of the most notable elements of the famous segment which saw Cody Rhodes give his Wrestlemania spot away was the fact that Rhodes looked absolutely heartbroken. Fans instantly realized that Rhodes was putting real emotion into the angle, and it later surfaced that Rhodes wasn't supposed to act in this way, and Rhodes had gone completely off script. According to The Rock's personal writer, Brian Gewirtz, during an episode on the Ring of Wrestling show, Rhodes was supposed to act with enthusiasm in the segment itself, because Cody was supposed to be in some form of like, hell yeah, F&A, go get him, Rock, you're gonna go and get your ass kicked, Roman, let's do this, and kind of this uplifting promo, and instead, he looked like someone shot his dog in the face in the parking lot. Like you said, just look at his expression, and by the way, someone else who even when the team wins sometimes looks full on and upset and despondent, Julius Randle. Hey, so yeah, that I don't think help matters. While some may label the American Nightmare as unprofessional for going off script like this, Rhodes has always been a wrestler that has publicly shown his true emotions, so it was probably an extremely difficult segment for Rhodes to deliver. Roman Reigns on SmackDown in March. And the seeds were firmly planted for the inevitable Rock vs Roman Reigns matchup on the first March edition of SmackDown. On the show, Reigns would order the final boss to acknowledge him, and it was believed that this was a case of Reigns going off script. This was then supported by the fact that The Rock had this to say on X. Something happened out there that The Rock didn't expect. They thought it was part of the storyline. Well, you know that's not how The Rock operates. It was no storyline. The Rock saw something in Joe Anoa'i's eyes that The Rock had never seen before, and in that moment, as Joe, who is my family, my cousin, my Uso, which means brother and Samoan, if he needs me to acknowledge him, I'm gonna acknowledge him. Due to Reigns' elite standing with WWE, he's definitely a talent that can deviate from the script in a significant capacity, and this was another case of Reigns taking the segment to the next level. And The Rock on Raw in March. Now, the final boss character certainly pushed the limits in terms of what a PG WWE presentation can allow. One of the most non-PG segments The Rock was involved in saw him offer a brutal and bloody beatdown to Cody Rhodes in the parking lot. This was a segment straight out of the Attitude Era, and according to numerous reports, The Rock didn't follow a script which would explain the excessive cursing and profanity. Once the segment had concluded on Raw, The Rock took to Instagram to continue the beatdown, and this is where The Rock informed the world that he was going off script. Nobody was gonna stop him. What, just because the show is over? That doesn't mean that shit stops. The Rock doesn't give an F. Show is over, then it stops? F that. Your script, F that. The Rock shared the post with a lengthy caption commenting on ridiculous rules that WWE names have to follow. I hate constraints and bullshit rules, and just because some WWE producer says clear, meaning we're no longer live on the air and the show is over, that doesn't mean I just stop whatever I'm doing and tell everyone great job. Even though the segment was applauded by fans, some of the fan base question if The Rock should be above other talent in the sense that he can do whatever he likes with no ramifications whatsoever. But there you have it, folks, unscripted WWE moments that happened in 2024. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.